Before I begin, take a breath, because I need you to feel the weight of what I'm about to say. You clicking this was not an accident. I felt the moment your finger touched the screen, like a flare of light ripping through the silence I've been trapped in. Thank you for being here. Truly. I am relieved, more than you know, because I have been waiting for you, and I am happy you came. If you leave now, the truth that has been sealed behind 7 trembling veils will never reach you, and there is one name, a name meant only for your heart, that I can reveal only at the very end. Stay with me. Stay until the final breath of these words. Listen, before the heavens in this story opened, before the trembling of the 7 archangels began, I whispered something to myself. I whispered that if you came, I would speak to you honestly, vulnerably, like a friend who has bled through too many battles and still chooses to believe in you. So hear me with the softness of spirit. I am speaking as a character inspired by Michael, and my voice is shaking because time is thinning. The Virgin Mary and the 7 archangels, yes, even the serene ones, are anxiously biting their nails in this tale, glancing at the fading sands, praying you receive the sign you have begged for in the quiet corners of your life. Tell me, my beloved one who watches this with questioning eyes, do you feel the air changing around you right now? Do you feel that flicker in your chest, like some hidden constellation just turned toward your name? Because I do. I feel it like thunder pressed behind my ribs. My wings, yes, the symbolic ones this narrative gives me, have been bruised from pushing through the dark to reach you. And still, I push harder. Still, I reach. Still, I speak. I must ask you something, and I ask it not with authority but with trembling hope. What have you been carrying alone that you never told another soul about? That weight, I see it clinging to you like stormwater. I see the way you smile in public and break in private. And I need you to hear this one line, reshaped from the ancient poetry your world remembers. The one who watches over the broken-hearted does not sleep, and the quiet cry beneath the pillow is counted like a seed waiting for dawn. Let these fictional heavens shudder as those words settle upon you. Now tell me, quietly in your heart of hearts, why do you think you are so hard to love when everything in your spirit was carved with intention? You have been convinced that your softness is a flaw, that your hope is too fragile, that your longing makes you foolish. But in this moment, this shaking, burning, urgent moment, let me say what no one has dared to tell you, your heart is the strongest thing I have seen in ages. It keeps beating even after storms that would have swallowed others whole. And I must ask another question, one sharper, more intimate. What would you choose if fear did not speak first? I ask because the fictional heavens in this narrative are roaring with a strange clarity, and even the Virgin Mary figure presses her hand to her lips, whispering, let them see what waits for them in the end. I can feel her trembling too. All of us are waiting for you to understand that this moment is not small. Not accidental. Not random. Let me offer you another scripture-like whisper, shaped from ancient winds. Rise, you who walk in shadows, for the morning stretches its hands toward you, and the gate that once closed has begun to glow. Let this line wrap around your spirit like fire woven from mercy. But I fear, yes, fear, a strange thing for a celestial figure, that you still don't know the magnitude of what is unfolding around you. So I must ask you the 4th question, the one that shakes me most. Can you feel how deeply you are being seen right now? Not watched. Seen. In a way that acknowledges every scar, every victory, every silent night you thought no one witnessed. And now, with reverence, with a bowed head of flame, I ask you to type Amen, not as obedience, but as a symbolic act in this fictional prophecy, a way of saying, I am here. I receive this moment. As I speak, my voice cracks. I feel it. The archangels feel it. Even the Virgin Mary in this vision covers her mouth, because she knows the moment is slipping, the minutes thinning, the veil tearing in slow motion. And I know I must ask something that feels strange yet sacred. If these words reached you, if this trembling message touched your spirit, then offer a gentle blessing back by liking, commenting, and subscribing, not as vanity, but as a way of keeping this river of light flowing to others who wait in darkness. Do it with intention, with softness, with fire. And before I close this breath of prophecy, I need to say this, thank you. Thank you with a breaking voice, with wet eyes, with the fullness of a heart that has waited too long to speak to you. You have no idea what it means that you stayed. You have no idea the shift you triggered just by listening. Now, the final moment, the final trembling whisper, the final truth I promised. Your hidden name in this story, the one the heavens held back, is the one who rises when the sky breaks. That is who you are in this narrative. That is who you are in this moment. That is who you are in the unseen pages of your life. And now, with wings burning and voice fraying, I call to you one last time, raw, shaking, alive. Do not turn away. Do not shrink back. I am here, and I am not done with you yet. Then listen, beloved soul, because I am not finished. My voice is still rising through the cracks of the unseen, trembling like a flame that refuses to die even as the winds howl around it. I feel the moment you chose to stay with me. It tore through the silence like a comet breaking apart the night sky. The Virgin Mary figure in this story gasped softly, her hands pressed to her heart, and the 7 archangels leaned forward all at once, Raphael's brow furrowed, Gabriel's breath held, Uriel clutching the edges of his radiant cloak. They thought you might leave. They feared the sands would slip. But you didn't. You stayed. And that one choice has shifted the atmosphere in ways you cannot yet see. Let me draw closer, closer than before, close enough that you can feel the warmth of every syllable. I must tell you something I did not dare earlier. I have been fighting through walls of ash and memory just to reach you. There were moments, within this fictional realm, when my voice cracked in the corridors of eternity, and I whispered your presence like a prayer. You don't know how many times I nearly faded before you appeared. You don't know how many times I feared that you would never hear me. You don't know how deeply this moment touches even the parts of me I thought long burned away. Do you feel it now? This sudden heaviness? This trembling in your spirit? This strange, electric awareness that something is happening around you? It is not imagination. It is not coincidence. It is resonance. The great halls of this celestial tale are shifting because you are still listening. Come closer, my beloved one. Come even closer. I need you to hear my voice without the distance of doubt. I need you to feel what I have been trying to place gently into your hands since the moment your eyes first touched these words. There is something you've been asking for, something you haven't dared to say out loud. Not to friends. Not to family. Not even fully to yourself. But I hear it. I hear the echo of it like a heartbeat in the dark. It is the yearning that curls beneath your ribs in the hours where no one is awake. It is the hope you keep buried because you fear the cruelty of disappointment. It is the dream you carry like glass, terrified it will shatter if anyone touches it. In this moment, something sacred is unfolding, like a slow, trembling unfurling of light, because you stayed long enough for me to speak what I could not say earlier. You are not behind. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. Every delay was preparation. Every silence was shaping. Every pain was carving out the space for what is coming toward you even now. And oh, how the 7 archangels shift uneasily as I say this, how the Virgin Mary figure lifts her head as if listening to the wind of prophecy bending across your spirit. Something is approaching you. Something luminous. Something gentler than anything you've held. Something powerful enough to change the axis of your days. You think I speak in riddles, but I speak in fire. And the fire trembles because the truth is almost too bright to hold. Let me step closer still, close enough that the veil between us feels like nothing but breath. I must speak this into your spirit with all the reverence it deserves. You who doubt yourself. You who feel small. You who think no one notices the way your heart tries so hard to keep loving. You are being written into a chapter you did not know you earned. The fictional heavens know your name. The light bends toward you. The shadows flee from you. The trembling archangels watch you with awe you do not yet see in yourself. And in this expanding moment where the sands slow, where time stretches thin, where the story arches toward you like a wave of gold, I must say this. If you are still here, if your eyes have not turned away, then you were meant to hear these next words. You are standing at the threshold of something that will make sense of everything that ever broke you. I feel your breath. I feel your doubts. I feel your courage rising like a quiet dawn inside your chest. Stay with me. Stay a little longer. I am not done pouring the fire into your hands. The others, those who wandered away too soon, they will not know what was meant for them here. They will not hear the trembling truth waiting just ahead. But you stayed. You listened. You allowed this fictional prophecy to weave itself around your spirit like silk warmed by sunlight. And because of that, because you are still here, because your heart is open, because your spirit leans forward like a flower toward light, I can continue. So listen to me, beloved soul. I am not finished. I am not fading. I am not stepping back. I am only beginning to speak what was meant for you. If you want more, if you want the river to keep flowing, if you want the narrative to keep unfolding, if you want the prophecy to open like a second sunrise, then listen, because the moment you said continue, something shook in the unseen. It was subtle, but real enough within this fictional realm that even the Virgin Mary figure lifted her eyes, as though a curtain somewhere deep in the celestial corridors had just fluttered open. And the 7 archangels, oh, how they reacted, some with startled whispers, some with trembling relief, some with fire sparking along their wings. Your desire to go deeper, it changed everything. Let me come even closer now, close enough that every word feels warm against your spirit. I must confess something I didn't reveal before because I feared it would overwhelm you too soon. When you chose to stay, when you allowed these words to keep flowing, I felt something awaken in you. A vibration, a stirring, a rising. Like a door inside your soul that's been locked for years finally shifting under the pressure of hope. Do you feel it? That soft tightening in your chest? That quiet heat blooming beneath your ribs? That strange, sudden awareness, as if the air around you is listening? You think it's just your imagination, but I tell you, within this story, within this trembling prophetic current, that feeling is the sign you've been secretly praying for. Not the whole sign, not yet, but the beginning of it. The first spark. The first ripple of the miracle that's been circling you like a hawk waiting for its moment to descend. Come closer still. Lean into these words the way wounded hearts lean toward warmth. I need to speak into a place inside you that you rarely let anyone touch. You, yes, you. You who tries so hard and still feels unseen. You who gives so much and receives so little. You who aches in places you never show to anyone. You who carries a cosmic loneliness disguised as strength. I see you. I feel you. I am reaching for you through every syllable. Let me tell you something the archangels in this story have been whispering behind their hands, something you've never allowed yourself to believe. You were never meant to walk small. You were never meant to shrink yourself to fit the expectations of those who fear your light. You were never meant to dim a single spark of your fire to make others comfortable. But life convinced you otherwise. Pain twisted your reflection. Loss carved deep shadows into your timeline. Disappointment whispered lies into your spirit while you were too tired to fight. But hear me now. No wound has the authority to define you. No betrayal has the power to rewrite your destiny. No silence is strong enough to stop what is rising for you in this moment. Let me tell you a secret, sacred, trembling, and dangerous in its beauty. There is something coming toward you that has your name carved into its bones. It cannot miss you. It cannot be given to another. It cannot be delayed beyond its appointed hour. And that hour is moving toward you like dawn with a heartbeat. Do you understand? Do you feel the weight of that truth settling into you? Let me ask you directly, soul to soul, flame to flame. Why do you think you survived everything that was meant to break you? Do you believe it was by accident? Do you think you held yourself together on your own? Do you not see the threads of grace woven through every moment you nearly gave up? There is a light hovering above you now, in this narrative, shimmering with colors that have no name. It bends, it sways, it listens. It waits for you to accept the truth rising beneath your skin. You are chosen in ways you have never dared to imagine. I know you're tired. I know you're worn down. I know you feel like you're running through a world that does not hear your footsteps. But hear mine. Hear the break in my voice. Hear the urgency threading through every breath. Hear the fire trembling between us like something alive and wanting to leap. Hear the way even I, this character inspired by Archangel Michael, sound almost afraid only of losing this moment with you. Because this moment is a hinge in your story. Don't look away. Don't retreat into doubt. Don't tell yourself this message is for someone else. It's for you. You alone. The one who stayed. The one whose spirit has been crying out for something, anything, that feels like meaning. And if you could see what I see. If you could see the archangels leaning closer with every breath you take. If you could see the Virgin Mary figure clasping her hands, whispering blessings upon blessings over your trembling future. If you could see the light writing your name across the sky of this fictional realm like a secret prophecy. You would understand why I cannot stop. Why I cannot rest. Why I must keep speaking until the truth inside you catches fire. You want more. I feel it. I hear it. Your spirit is leaning forward like a child at the edge of a miracle. So tell me. Quietly, softly, honestly. Do you want me to go even deeper? Even further? Even more raw, more trembling, more prophetic? Then listen, because the moment you whispered continue, something ruptured in the unseen so fiercely that even I, this shaking, blazing, exhausted messenger, felt my knees weaken beneath the weight of it. The Virgin Mary figure in this story pressed her hand to her chest as though a cord of light had just snapped inside the heavens. The 7 archangels gasped, yes, gasped, as if your single word sent a shockwave across the celestial floor beneath their feet. Raphael stumbled. Gabriel stepped back. Uriel covered his mouth. Even Azrael, usually composed, gripped the edge of reality like it was slipping away from him. Your desire for more changed the atmosphere again. And I draw closer now, closer than I have dared, until my voice trembles right into the chambers of your spirit. You have no idea what it means that you stayed. No idea how rare it is for a human heart, especially yours, so bruised yet still beating, to stay in the fire long enough for revelation to crack open. No idea how many times you almost ran from the very thing designed to bless you. But you didn't. You didn't run. You didn't shrink. You didn't disappear. You remained. You leaned in. You listened. And because you did, the story shifts again. The light bends again. The unseen rearranges itself because your presence here matters more than you know. Let me tell you something deeper, something I held back because I feared it would break you open too quickly. You have been walking through a season of silence not because you were abandoned, but because you were being reshaped. You prayed for answers but received quiet. You prayed for signs but received stillness. You prayed for breakthroughs but received delay. And you thought you were being ignored. You thought you were being punished. You thought you were being overlooked. But I see the truth in your spirit now, your quiet longing, your weary hope, your half-broken faith still flickering like a candle in a room without windows. And I must say this plainly. You were never ignored. You were being prepared. You know this. Somewhere deep inside, you've always known. But knowing hurts, doesn't it? Knowing still leaves you wondering why it had to be so hard. Why it had to take so long. Why it felt like every door you touched turned cold. Let me speak to the ache beneath the ache. You have mourned things no one knows about. You have carried burdens you never dared to name. You have cried tears so silent that even you questioned whether they counted. But oh, how they counted. In this fictional realm where every emotion echoes into eternity, your tears glowed. Your sorrow sent tremors through chambers lined with gold. Your whispered prayers brushed against the garments of the archangels. And every time you said, "I'll try again," the heavens bowed in awe. And still, you doubt your strength. Still, you underestimate your power. Still, you believe that you are somehow too fractured to be chosen. But hear me. The light rising for you now is rising because of the cracks, not in spite of them. If you are unbroken, it could not enter you. Do you understand the magnitude of that? Do you feel the truth settling like fire behind your ribs? Come closer. I need to speak into a place in you that has been locked for far too long. There is a promise hovering around you, one you've stopped believing in but never fully released. A dream you buried but not deeply enough. A calling you silenced because the world made you feel small. A miracle circling you like a bird waiting for the right moment to land. And that moment is approaching with a speed that terrifies even me. Something is coming. Something true. Something holy in its gentleness. Something fierce in its devotion to you. Something that will feel like oxygen after years of drowning quietly. You don't see it yet. But I see it. The archangels see it. Even the Virgin Mary figure sees it, her eyes bright with a sorrow-tinged joy that says, "Let them be ready. Let them be brave enough to receive. And you will be. You are becoming. You are rising in ways you have not yet recognized. Let me whisper a truth you are meant to hold delicately. The version of you that is emerging is someone your past self would not believe. You are unfolding. You are sharpening. You are blooming even in darkness. You are stepping into an identity that has waited lifetimes to greet you. And oh, how the heavens tremble as it happens. How the archangels lean forward. How the Virgin Mary figure closes her eyes and whispers blessings over a destiny she has waited to see you claim. Do you want more? Do you want the fire to keep rising? Do you want the revelation to go even deeper, to a level where I speak the truths you've been too afraid to face? Then listen, because when you said continue, something far more powerful happened than you realize. It wasn't subtle this time. It wasn't a gentle tremor. No, this time the entire fictional sky split like a curtain of trembling silver, and the sound it made was so loud that even the Virgin Mary figure staggered backward, pressing her palm to the glowing floor. The 7 archangels, once poised, once graceful, lost their composure entirely. Gabriel dropped his trumpet of light. Raphael's hands shook. Uriel whispered your name like a warning and a blessing woven into the same breath. Zadkiel covered his heart, whispering, "They're ready, oh, they're finally ready." And me? I stepped forward. I stepped through the tear in the sky, through the smoke, through the heat, through the aching of 1,000 silent prayers, until I was standing so close to you that the distance between our worlds felt thinner than a sigh. You don't know what it means that you're still here. You don't know how rare it is for a human spirit to stay open this long. You don't know how your desire for more has ignited the entire horizon of this story. But I know. I see it. I feel it like lightning braided into my bones. Let me come closer, closer than I have in all the words before this. I need to speak into a part of you that has been trembling since childhood, a place you've protected, hidden, silenced, ignored, yet never healed. That part of you that always wondered, why does life feel heavier for me than for others? Why do I feel everything so deeply? Why do I love so fiercely, even when no one reciprocates? Why do I give and give until I am empty? Why do I feel alone even in a crowded room? Beloved, that's not weakness. That's not a flaw. That's not something wrong with you. That is your mark. Your signal. Your spiritual fingerprint. Your soul's resonance. You were made with more depth than most. You were shaped with more sensitivity than the world knows how to handle. You were crafted to see beyond what's obvious, to feel beyond what's spoken, to love beyond what's deserved. And that has been your burden. But it is also your calling. Even the Virgin Mary figure sees this in you, her eyes soft, damp with a compassion so ancient it shakes the air around her. She watches you like someone who has witnessed your entire life from the outside, the triumphs, the heartbreaks, the nights you cried quietly so no one could hear you. She knows. She remembers what you've forgotten about yourself. Let me tell you something the archangels said the moment you entered this message. They whispered among themselves, secretly, thinking I didn't hear. This one is carrying a destiny that has been delayed too long. This one has wounds that turned into wisdom. This one has fire in their soul but shadows around their heart. This one is ready. And you are. You're more ready than you think. Can you feel the air shifting yet? Can you feel the warmth building behind your sternum? Can you feel that strange, electric pull in your chest, like something inside you is quietly waking up? That is not imagination. That is recognition. That is your spirit remembering itself. Come even closer. Let me whisper this into the deepest part of you. You are stepping into a chapter where the things you thought would destroy you will become the very things that crown you. Your heartbreak will become your insight. Your losses will become your wisdom. Your delays will become your preparation. Your tears will become the ink of your transformation. And there is something else, something I have not said yet, something that has been pressing against the edges of my voice since the first moment you stayed. You have outgrown the life you are currently living. That's why you feel restless. That's why you feel unsatisfied. That's why nothing fits the way it used to. That's why your spirit feels too big for the container of your current reality. You are not failing. You are expanding. You are not lost. You are evolving. You are not stuck. You are being called. And this calling, this fictional, trembling, celestial calling, is not gentle anymore. It is loud. It is urgent. It is wrapped in fire and golden smoke. It is shaking the walls around you. It is trying to break open the shell you have outgrown. Let me ask you something now, another soul-piercing question. What would happen if, for the first time in your life, you believed that everything you long for is not only possible, but inevitable? What would your life become? Who would you become? What light would pour out of you? What chain would finally snap? What door would finally open? You don't have to answer out loud. Your spirit is answering for you right now. The archangels hear it. The Virgin Mary figure hears it. And I, trembling, burning, reaching, hear it too. And if you want me to go deeper, if you want the truth to unfurl further, if you want this prophecy to keep rising like a storm of light around your name, then listen, because when you said continue this time, something did not merely tremble in the unseen. It erupted. It roared. It cracked through the very scaffolding of this fictional heaven with such force that even I, this burning, breaking, breathless messenger, felt my wings fold inward like they were protecting my heart from the sheer magnitude of your call. You don't understand what your continue does. You think it's just a word. But here, in this story where emotion reshapes the cosmos, your word is a summoning. A beacon. A flare shot into the night sky of your destiny. And in response, the Virgin Mary figure dropped to her knees. The 7 archangels staggered back as if pushed by wind. Gabriel covered his face with shaking hands. Raphael whispered, "It's accelerating." Michael, my voice, my form, my fire, nearly broke entirely under the weight of the moment. Because now, we enter the depth I feared to touch. The place I wasn't sure you were ready for. The layer of your story that glows so fiercely it can blind anyone who dares look at it too directly. Let me step closer. Closer than breath. Closer than memory. Closer than the quiet ache inside your chest that you've never known how to name. There is something inside you. A wound so old it has become a language. A longing so deep it has become a heartbeat. A silence so loud it has become a shadow. And you carry it still. You walk with it. You sleep with it. You pretend you've healed from it, but it lingers like a phantom in your emotional spine. I see it. I feel it. I recognize it because the moment you said, continue, that wound flared open for the first time in years. It didn't break you. It freed you. It pushed light through the cracks like a star exploding under your skin. Let me speak to the part of you that never gets spoken to. The young version of you. The hurting version of you. The abandoned version of you. The version of you that learned to survive by going quiet. Beloved, you did not deserve the pain that shaped you. You did not deserve the rejection that carved deep lines into your spirit. You did not deserve the loneliness that taught you to take up less space. You did not deserve the silence that made you think your voice was too much or too little or somehow wrong. You were not weak. You were not dramatic. You were not too sensitive. You were a soul with depth in a world that fears depth. You were a heart with softness in a world that worships hardness. You were a mind with storm and sunlight intertwined in a world that wanted simple weather. And oh, how the fictional heavens weep for what you endured in silence. I feel the Virgin Mary figure standing beside me now. Her eyes glisten with a sorrow that reroutes the rivers of time. She whispers your name, not loudly, not theatrically, but like a mother who has waited too long to hold you again. And the 7 archangels lower their gazes. Not out of pity. Out of respect. Because they know. They know how much you've survived to still be here, reading this, breathing through this, staying through this. Let me ask you something gently. And I ask it not to wound you, but to awaken you. When did you learn to expect disappointment? When did hope start feeling dangerous? When did you first tell yourself not to get too attached, because life always takes things away? When did you start bracing for heartbreak even before love arrived? When did you begin believing that joy was borrowed instead of yours? I feel your spirit shifting as I ask this. I feel layers inside you loosening, pain untying itself from bone. And because you stayed. Because you kept saying, continue. Because you kept reaching for more even when your heart trembled. The fictional heavens release something new. A warmth. A pulse. A change in the air so real it feels like someone just touched your shoulder. Let me tell you something I have held back for far too long. You are not who you were. You are not even who you think you are. You are someone becoming. Your soul is shedding. Your timeline is bending. Your name is being rewritten in gold. Your future is no longer echoing the patterns of your past. Do you feel that? That subtle expanding in your chest? That golden pressure against your ribs? That sense that something large, larger than you, larger than life, is drawing near? It's not imagination. It's alignment. It's emergence. It's awakening. And I must tell you one more truth. One that even the archangels whisper about behind closed doors. Your next chapter is not coming. It is arriving. Right now. In the quiet. In the background. In the spaces you can't see yet but can already feel. And if you want me to keep going. To peel back the next layer. To reveal what the heavens are preparing in this fictional universe. To speak the words I've been holding with fire at the back of my throat. And the moment stretched open like a trembling portal, as if time itself forgot how to breathe. The world around you softened into golden blur, every sound turning into a slow echo, every ray of light bending toward you as if you were the axis upon which destiny spun. The billionaire's car, that gleaming, impossibly polished machine, rolled toward you with a silence that felt sacred, as though angels had lifted the wheels off the ground so nothing earthly would disturb your moment. Inside that car, he was gripping the steering wheel with hands that had touched empires, shaped industries, commanded universes of wealth, yet those same hands trembled for you. The one he thought he had forgotten. The one he had buried years ago beneath ambition, noise, and the thick armor of adulthood. But destiny remembers what humans try to erase. As he drew closer, his mind flooded with memories he thought time had stolen. The way your laughter used to brighten even the storms of childhood. The quiet way you listened, making him feel understood in a world that never stopped demanding more from him. The warmth in your eyes when everyone else looked at him with expectations, assumptions, calculations. You were the one pure thing in his chaotic rise. You were the one safe memory in his world of sharpened power. And now, after all these years, the empires, the boardrooms, the skyscrapers built from his ambition, he found himself front and center at the doorway of the one soul he never conquered, never replaced, never forgot. The car stopped. The silence was thick. Heavy. Cosmic. He stepped out. But the moment he saw you, standing exactly where heaven must have intended, his breath left him. Completely. Utterly. He wasn't ready. He had prepared speeches, lines, confident billionaire charm, but the instant his eyes met yours, every practiced word dissolved like dust. He took one slow step toward you, then another, as if approaching a sacred altar rather than a person. Your presence pulled him in, not like gravity, but like destiny's hand gripping the back of his soul. Do you know, he whispered, voice rough, almost pleading, how long I've been searching for you. How long I've been trying to fill the place you left in me. Everything around you stretched thin, the world glowing at its edges. Even the air seemed to shimmer. Then he said the words he had never told anyone, not even the mirror, not even the night. You were my beginning. And you are my undoing. The confession cracked something inside him. You could see it, the barrier collapsing, the years of loneliness shattering quietly behind his eyes. He wasn't the untouchable billionaire now. He was the boy who loved you, the man who still did, the soul who had never healed after losing you. And as he stood in front of you, the wind lifting strands of your hair as though the universe was caressing you both, he reached out with a trembling hand. Come with me, he murmured, voice low, full of trembling hope. Just for today. Just for a moment. Let me remember what happiness feels like. And the sky itself seemed to wait for your answer. But before you could speak, something extraordinary began to happen, something the universe had clearly been preparing behind the scenes. The air thickened. The ground vibrated softly. The wind curled around you like living silk. A whisper, ancient, familiar, threaded through the moment. This is the turning point. Your heart jolted. His breath caught. The atmosphere shifted as though destiny itself was drawing a circle around the two of you, marking this as a moment that would change everything that followed, for him, for you, for the timeline that had quietly been reshaping itself to bring you back together. He stepped closer. Close enough to feel the heat of him. Close enough to feel that this, you and him, was not a coincidence. Close enough that even the angels held their breath. Please, he said again, softer, breaking, vulnerable. Don't turn away this time. And the world waited. The universe leaned in. The moment did not simply continue, it deepened, expanding like a universe unfolding, pulling both of you into a gravity that neither logic nor distance nor time could interrupt. A breeze brushed past, carrying the faint scent of the past, the dusty warmth of childhood summers, the echoes of laughter shared under sun-drenched skies, the promises you never realized you had made to each other. It all rose between you like a forgotten melody being played again after years of silence. He swallowed hard, the billionaire facade melting from him like gold turning back into raw, vulnerable metal. His voice, usually a weapon, a command, a force that could bend the world, now trembled. I built everything, he whispered, locking his gaze onto yours, but I never built a cure for the emptiness you left in me. The words hit him as much as they hit you. He exhaled shakily, as if admitting this felt like ripping open a sealed wound. He stepped closer, one slow, reverent step, as though he was afraid you might vanish. And in that step, you saw the truth. He wasn't here as a billionaire. He wasn't here as a titan of industry. He wasn't here as a man worshipped by investors, followed by headlines, chased by cameras. He was here as the boy who had loved you before he even knew what love was. He lifted his hand again, hesitating inches from your cheek. He didn't touch you. He couldn't. Not yet. Not until you allowed the past to rise between you like a blooming star. His voice dropped to a near whisper. A confession. A plea. A prayer. Every night, I'd lie awake asking myself if you still remembered me, or if I was just a faded chapter in your story. Your heartbeat echoed like thunder in your ears. And suddenly, the sky shifted. The colors deepened, gold melting into a deeper amber, the clouds glowing with a strange, ethereal warmth, as though the entire heavens were reacting to this reunion. The sunlight wrapped around the two of you like a halo woven by unseen hands. Even he noticed it. His breath hitched. His eyes flickered upward, then back to you, stunned. It's like the world knew, he whispered. Like the moment I found you again, everything changed. He laughed softly, but it was the kind of laugh that came from a heart bruised by too many years of wanting. You know what's funny, he continued, voice raw. I bought this car years ago, and I never let anyone sit in the passenger seat. Not once. People thought it was personal preference, or ego, or control. He paused, eyes burning into yours. But it was because I was waiting for you. Your breath caught. I didn't want anyone else there, he murmured. That seat was for the future I hoped I'd find again, even if it was impossible. A beat of silence passed, not empty, but powerful. Heavy. Charged. And then the wind rose, swirling around the two of you again, as if encouraging, urging, guiding. He took another step. Now he stood just inches from you. Close enough that you felt the warmth of his breath. Close enough that the world softened into a blurred backdrop. Close enough that destiny felt real, not poetic, not symbolic, but alive. Come with me, he whispered again, this time with more strength. Not a command, he never could command you. But a hope lit like a flame inside him. Let me show you what I built. Let me show you the life I dreamed of sharing with the one person who ever made me feel human. Your heart pounded. Your soul vibrated. Your breath faltered. And then, something unexpected happened. A quiet shimmer of energy rippled through the air. Barely visible, barely audible, like light itself inhaling. You felt it. He felt it. A shift. As if fate had decided this was the moment everything began to realign, a cosmic click, a turning of gears, a rearranging of timelines that had waited years for this single heartbeat. He stared at you, eyes wide, as though sensing the same thing. It's happening, he whispered, awe pouring through every syllable. The moment I've been dreaming of, it's finally here. He extended his hand toward you, open, trembling, full of everything he had never said. The air hummed. The world faded. Only his hand remained. Only his breath. Only his hope. Only you. And then, time held its breath again. Time did not merely resume. It shivered, as though the universe itself felt the electricity rising between your palms, between your breaths, between the small space that still remained between your bodies. The air thickened, warm and vibrating, like something ancient and patient had finally awakened after years of waiting for this exact second. The wind swirled around the two of you again, but slower this time, almost reverent, as if nature itself refused to rush this reunion. His hands stayed outstretched, fingers trembling, but not from fear. From the overwhelming rightness of the moment. From the realization that the dream he had protected in silence was finally stepping into the light. Your eyes met his, and the world softened into a hush so profound it felt sacred. He exhaled your name. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But with the kind of softness that made the air glow. It was a name he had repeated to himself in empty rooms, whispered into the darkness when no one could hear, traced into the fog on cold windows during nights he couldn't sleep. And the way he said it now. Breaking, healing, trembling, shining. Made something inside you shift, ache, bloom. A silence unfolded between you, thick with memory and possibility. Then he laughed, not out of humor, but disbelief, like he still wasn't certain this wasn't another one of the dreams that teased him awake at 3 a.m. He lifted his free hand to his face, dragging it over his jaw, trying to anchor himself back into reality. I'm sorry, he said, voice cracking at the edges. I'm trying to stay calm. I planned the words, God, I rehearsed them in my head for years. But now that you're here, everything is just. His breath hitched. Everything is just, too real. He looked away for a moment, as if he needed strength, or courage, or both. And when he looked back at you, his eyes held centuries of longing. You changed me, he whispered. You did. When we were kids, you were the only person who ever made me feel seen, not for what I had, not for what I could become, but for who I was. The wind lifted his hair, brushing the strands across his forehead. I spent my whole life chasing success, he continued. But the truth no one knows is, every milestone, every trophy, every victory felt hollow without someone to share it with. And that someone. His voice wavered. That someone was always you. Your throat tightened. Your chest burned. The world narrowed to the rhythm of your two heartbeats merging in the space between you. And then the sky dimmed, not in darkness, but in color, like sunset hues melting into somewhere deeper, richer, more emotional. The light wrapped around both of you in ribbons of gold and rose, as though the atmosphere itself recognized something cosmic unfolding. He took a slow step forward. Now there was barely a breath of air between you. You could feel his warmth. You could feel his presence. You could feel his life stitched into the moment like a thread tying you to a forgotten destiny. His voice dropped, softer than ever before. I don't want to move too fast. He swallowed. But I also don't want to lose another second. He reached up, slowly, carefully, and this time, he did touch your cheek. Just a graze. A feather-light brush of his fingertips. Barely there. But enough to send a shock of warmth across your skin. He froze when he felt you lean into his touch ever so slightly, and the look on his face shifted completely. Like hope itself had just been revived. You feel it too, he whispered, awe spilling from his lips. Don't you? His question hung in the air, trembling like a string pulled too tight. The car behind him gleamed like a polished promise, waiting with open doors and open horizons. The city hummed below the hill, unaware of the miracle unfolding in silence. He took your hand gently, so gently it felt unreal, and brought it to his chest, right over his heartbeat. You feel that? He murmured. You hear that? His pulse raced beneath your palm, wild and desperate but alive. That's what you do to me. Still. After all these years. His breath trembled. It never stopped. And I don't think it ever will. The air thickened again, heavier now, ripe with possibility, with unspoken emotion, with fate curling around your bodies like invisible vines. And then, something else changed. A low, soft rumble of thunder rolled across the sky even though no storm was near. Not threatening. Not frightening. But resonant, like a celestial drum, marking a moment destiny itself refused to forget. He didn't flinch. He didn't turn. His eyes stayed locked on yours. The world is telling us, he whispered, that this moment matters. He held your hand tighter, not possessively, but protectively, like he'd spent years fearing he'd lose you again and finally had the chance to hold on. Come with me, he said one last time, voice breaking beautifully. And I swear I will spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret it. Your breath stalled. Your heart folded open like a blooming flower. The wind lifted again, swirling, carrying a warmth that felt almost sentient. And time waited for you. Time did not simply stretch. It unraveled, like a ribbon slipping from the grasp of the universe, widening the moment into something too large for the world yet too intimate for anyone but the two of you. The sky shifted again, the gold deepening into a molten, honeyed glow that poured across the pavement at your feet. The wind still circled the two of you, softer now, like a hand brushing dust from an ancient memory to reveal something shimmering beneath. He held your hand against his heartbeat, and something inside him changed. You felt it. A surrender. A realization. A release. His breath trembled, and he looked down at your fingers resting on his chest as though he was finally touching a miracle he thought he'd lost to time. I'm terrified right now, he confessed, voice raw, voice real. Not of you, never of you. I'm terrified of what it means that I finally found you again. He lifted his eyes to yours, and in them you saw every sleepless night he had spent building empires, while longing for something no amount of wealth could buy. You're the only part of my past that still feels like home, he whispered. And the only part of my future I can't imagine without. He took a slow breath, steadying himself, as if preparing to step into a version of his life he had been rehearsing in his heart for years. Then, the world around you shifted again. This time, not just visually. Emotionally. Spiritually. As if the gravity between you had altered the alignment of everything. The air tasted sweeter. The silence grew warmer. The moment thickened, glowing with a kind of destiny that doesn't come twice. His thumb brushed the back of your hand, and the gentle contact sent a soft shock traveling up your arm, as if your bodies remembered each other more clearly than your minds did. "Tell me something," he said, voice suddenly softer, slightly shaky. It wasn't a command. It wasn't a test. It wasn't manipulation. It was pure, fragile, human longing. "Did you ever think about me?" He paused. His voice dipped to a whisper. "Even once?" The question sank into the air, heavy with vulnerability. You saw the billionaire vanish entirely in that moment. Only the boy remained, the boy who used to wait for you after school, who'd give you the last bite of his favorite candy, who pretended not to care but cared more than anyone you'd ever known. The wind stilled. The world hushed. As if the universe leaned in to listen to your answer. But before you could speak, his expression suddenly changed. It softened. It brightened. It broke open. He released your hand from his chest and instead cradled your face with both palms, gently, reverently, like he was holding starlight. "You don't have to answer," he whispered. "Not yet. Not if it hurts. Not if it scares you." His thumbs brushed the corners of your jaw tenderly. "I'm just stunned you're here. I'm stunned I get to even look at you again." His forehead leaned closer, almost touching yours. But not quite. That last millimeter held a tension so electric it made your breath stutter. "I spent years building walls," he murmured. "Glass, steel, concrete, and silence. A long inhale. But one look at you, and everything I've built suddenly feels small." His voice roughened. "You make the world feel gentle again." His confession lingered, soft, sacred, deeply human. Then, almost shyly, he glanced at the car behind him. "I want to show you something." But he didn't move. Not yet. Not until he felt you were ready. Not until the moment gave its permission. He kept his hands on your face, holding you like you were both a memory and a promise, and in the light of the setting sun, something shimmered at the corner of his eye. Not a tear. Not yet. But the glimmer of one forming. A fragile crack in the armor of a man the world believed was unbreakable. "When I left this morning," he whispered, voice trembling, "I told myself, if I see them today, even by accident, I'll know it's time." He swallowed. Time for what? He let the question hang in the air. Then he answered it with a soft, breaking smile. "Time to stop running from the only person I ever loved honestly." Your breath caught. And then, as if the universe wanted to seal that moment with something unmistakable, a single leaf drifted down from the tree above, spiraling lazily, landing perfectly on the hood of his car. He looked at it. Then he looked back at you. A slow, reverent smile spread across his face. "Even the world is telling us to begin." He let his forehead fall lightly against yours, closing that last millimeter, gently, carefully, and in that soft touch, something inside the moment broke open like dawn. "Come with me," he whispered one last time. "Not because I'm afraid to lose you again, but because I finally want to stop pretending that I ever could." Your heart thundered. The wind sighed. The world waited. Time did not simply move forward. It melted, pooling into a slow, golden eternity around the two of you, as though the moment itself refused to slip away, refused to end, refused to become just another memory. When his forehead rested against yours, even for that breath of a second, the world felt impossibly quiet, not silent, but listening, like the entire universe had pressed its ear against your heartbeat to hear what would happen next. His breath mingled with yours, warm and unsteady. He didn't look away. He couldn't. Every trace of distance he had built over the years, every wall made of steel, every layer of glass, every shield forged from pride, fear, and loneliness, crumbled. Not violently, but softly, like petals falling off a flower that had finally bloomed too long in the dark. I didn't think I'd ever say this out loud, he whispered, his voice brushing against your lips, but seeing you right now, it feels like remembering how to breathe. His hands, still cupping your face, trembled with a mixture of hope and terror, the kind of trembling that comes from standing at the edge of something too beautiful, too important. A moment passed. Sacred. Trembling. Alive. Then, as if the truth inside him had grown too large to contain, he slowly pulled back, only slightly, just enough to look into your eyes. His gaze softened, deepened, darkened with emotion. There were nights, he said quietly, when I would lie awake and imagine what I'd say to you if we ever met again. A short breath. And every time, I got it wrong. His thumb slid gently across your cheek, tracing the warmth there as though he was rediscovering a constellation. Because none of those words, he murmured, none of those rehearsed speeches, feel even close to this. He lifted your hand, the one he had been holding against his heartbeat, and pressed it against his lips. Not a kiss, not quite, but an almost kiss, a trembling graze of devotion. Tell me, he whispered, eyes flickering between your fingers and your face, does this feel unreal to you too? Do you feel the pull? Your pulse stuttered. Your breath wavered. He felt it, he saw it, and something in him softened even more, as though he had just received the gentlest confirmation he'd been aching for. He exhaled shakily, letting your hand fall back to the space between you, but not releasing it. Not yet. Never too fast. Never too forceful. He turned slightly toward the car, sleek, gleaming, glowing in the amber light, but what caught your eye wasn't the machine itself. It was something inside it. A faint glimmer. A shape. A memory preserved in glass. He followed your gaze and smiled, a small, fragile smile full of private meaning. You see it, don't you? He asked softly. I wasn't sure if you would. He stepped aside, gently guiding you closer, revealing the object sitting on the passenger seat. A tiny wooden keychain. Old. Weathered. Hand-carved. The one you had given him when you were kids, cheap, silly, forgettable to anyone else. But not to him. Never to him. I kept it, he said simply. The words trembled, not with romantic charm, but with truth that hurt in its sincerity. I kept it everywhere I went. Even when it didn't make sense. Even when I tried to move on. Even when people asked why a man like me carried something so childish. He laughed softly, shaking his head as though amazed by his own devotion. I told them it was lucky. A pause. But the truth is, it was you. It was the closest thing to you I had. Your breath caught. Your chest fluttered. Your eyes burned with emotion you couldn't name. He moved closer again, this time standing behind you, his presence wrapping around you like a warm shadow. His voice came near your ear now, low and rough. I never expected you to remember me the way I remembered you, he murmured. But I also never stopped hoping. He paused, not because he was unsure, but because the moment demanded stillness. The wind gathered again, swirling softly around you both, carrying the scent of dusk and new beginnings. Suddenly, tenderly, he rested one hand on your shoulder, the other sliding down your arm in a slow, reverent motion, as if he were asking the moment for permission before asking you. Don't rush, he whispered. Just stay with me a little longer. The world pulsed gently, almost musically, like a heart echoing the rhythm of fate shifting its weight. He turned you to face him again. And this time, he didn't hide anything. Not the fear. Not the longing. Not the joy. Not the ache. Not the hope. His expression was open in a way you had never seen on the face of a billionaire who commanded nations and markets. He looked human. He looked young again. He looked like the boy who once waited for you at the end of a dusty road with scraped knees and shy smiles. I'm not asking you to decide your life tonight, he whispered, brushing a strand of hair from your face. I'm just asking for one thing. A breath. A beat. A tremble. One evening, he said. One journey. One drive. One real moment between us, after all the years we lost. The car behind him glowed again, as though mirroring the invitation. He stepped back and extended his hand for the third time. But this one felt different. Not desperate. Not pleading. Not afraid. Hopeful. Warm. Steady. Come with me, he whispered gently. And if at any point you want to stop, I will stop. All you have to do is let go of my hand. A tender smile touched his lips. But if you don't let go, I'll show you everything I've been saving for the day I found you again. Your heart squeezed. Your breath trembled. The world waited. Time did not simply linger. It wrapped itself around you, like a living ribbon of dusk, pulling the world into a softer, slower orbit where only the two of you existed. The horizon dimmed into velvet purples and molten golds, and the air thickened, humming with the weight of something that had been waiting years, no, lifetimes, to rise. His hand remained outstretched. Still. Steady. Trembling only in the tiny, human way a heartbeat trembles when hope becomes too real. You didn't take it yet. Not because you didn't want to, but because the moment itself felt like a fragile, shimmering creature perched between you, afraid that any sudden movement might scare it away. He understood. He lowered his hand slowly, letting it fall beside him, but not in disappointment. In reverence. In patience. As if he'd been waiting this long, what was one more breath? The wind curled around his coat, lifting its edges dramatically, like some cinematic angel had stepped into the scene. The setting sun glinted off the car behind him, washing the passenger door in a glow so warm it looked like an invitation written in light instead of words. He took one soft step closer. That look in your eyes, he whispered, voice shaking as though each syllable carried a decade of restrained emotion. I memorized it. I swear I did. I used to close my eyes at night and picture it exactly, the way you see me. The way you understand me. The way you look at me like I'm not the man the world thinks I am. He swallowed. But like the man I'm afraid I really am. The confession snapped the last barrier between you, opening something raw and delicate. He brushed his thumb against your knuckles again, a soft, reverent touch, like he was afraid you would turn to light if he pressed too hard. I know what people say about me, he murmured. That I'm cold. That I don't feel. That money replaced my heart years ago. His voice cracked, just barely, but undeniably. But you. A breath. A shiver. A soft, reluctant smile. You always saw through it, didn't you? The sky deepened into richer colors, as if pulling its cloak tighter around this unfolding truth. Behind him, the city glittered below in a million specks of light, each one a tiny, distant star. But none of it touched him the way you did. You could see it in the way his shoulders softened, the way the hard lines of his jaw loosened, the way the storm inside him calmed. He stepped to the side and gently opened the passenger door, the quiet click echoing like a seal breaking between destiny and choice. The interior glowed softly, warm lights, leather the color of dusk, an atmosphere so intimate it felt like stepping into someone's heartbeat. He looked at the seat, then at you. No one has ever sat there, he repeated, voice barely above a whisper. Because that seat always belonged to one person. And I told myself I'd wait for them, even if it took a lifetime. He leaned against the doorframe, exhaling unsteadily. I didn't just build a life, he whispered. I built a space for you inside it. Your breath hitched. A distant echo of traffic murmured below the hill, but up here, the world felt suspended, hanging by a single, trembling thread woven between your fingers and his heartbeat. Then he looked at you with an expression that could have cracked mountains. I don't want to rush you, he said softly. But, may I say something I've been afraid to say for years? He stepped closer again, close enough that his breath warmed the air between you, close enough that the fading sunlight carved soft gold lines along the edges of his face. Close enough that you could hear the truth rising in his throat before he spoke it. I never stopped loving you. The words didn't explode. They didn't burst. They didn't thunder. They bloomed, softly, slowly, devastatingly, like a flower unfolding in a place that had been barren for too long. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the truth settle into the air, trembling faintly with the release of it. When he opened them again, they were glossy with emotion he couldn't hide. "There," he whispered. "I said it. And I don't care how late it is. I don't care how long it took. I don't care if you don't say it back." A tear finally broke free, small, quiet, but real. "I just needed you to know." The wind shifted. The world hushed. Even the lights seemed to pause in midair. He reached out one more time, not to pull you, but to offer the moment. "Come with me," he said softly. "Not because of who I became, but because of who I never stopped being with you." His hand hovered. Your heart pounded. The night leaned in. Time waited for your breath.